Alright guys, welcome back. We are jumping into this because it is already late since I had dinner with the family and we have a bunch to do. So, these are the test prints. Obviously, as you can see, I have two test prints for the trunk piece, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's start with this. The modification here was that we have the snap-in on the wheel hub now. And, as you can see, snaps in quite fine and rotates out. Can rotate back in. Obviously it's falling off right now because we still haven't added the stop onto the back just yet, but snaps real nice. The only thing is, you'll notice that this side we had made this extra sharp and that broke off almost immediately. So I went ahead in the CAD and just fixed that really quick today during my lunch break at work. So I just rounded that off, took 5 seconds. And then over here with this, this is how we had the hooks set up, and this is not nearly stiff enough. Even if I tighten this up and did not have as much relief for printing, it's still way too loose to actually function correctly. So I remade it, designed this little cap right here to retain these hooks, and as you can see, functions just fine now. So that is all that resolved. It now functions nice. These are terrible prints because I just printed them immediately. No supports, no nothing, just we need to make sure the mechanisms work. It doesn't matter if they look ugly, that's fine. The mechanisms work, so now we can print it next time in full quality. So that is your catch up on the test pieces. Again, we got to go quick because we do not have any time at all. So back to the CAD, we need to get the legs and the head in. That is something that we keep on saying, or I keep on saying, I guess I should say, that we need to get in, and we just plain have not. So, one thing I was thinking about is with this window here now, so had we made, I guess there's a couple things we could do. We could recess this window and still back it. The thing I was looking at was the fact that the second you put a hole in here, right? Now you're expecting the user to be able to see through, in which case we got to design chairs, right? We got to, not chairs, seats. We got to design seats on the interior, whereas I was just going to leave it flat with maybe a little bit of a recessed window just to pretend like there's a window there. The alternative here is, because we need all this space, at least that much space, we could fill the rest of it up, only back up, yay far, and then fill the rest of it up with a faux window, right? So we can do that, which was more or less again what I was going to do on the all these to begin with. But just something I wanted to point out is that if we do go all the way through with the window, then you need an interior to the car, which is something I kind of would like to avoid because we do not have time. So let's get the leg started. We definitely need to get the leg started. That is important. The arm, actually really quick, the arm does not have much space to fold back in on itself, I realized, which means that it's always going to be this long. So if it interferes with the legs, as you can see, it is more than halfway through here. So if the legs are more or less just as long, then that's going to be a problem. I think the legs might be able to fold up themselves. So in that case, the legs will only take up half as long, unlike this arm, which, again, we didn't really give ourselves that much space because we're underneath the hood here, the front hood. Because we're underneath the front hood, we can't really fold this up, I don't think. I guess I can test that really quick on the test piece, but I believe we are a little cramped for space. One of those things, I have obviously not had any free time, and actually, I am now noticing that, yeah, with the way we did the hinge here, let me hop on camera again for this one. So this hinge is fine to 90, which is all I was looking for before, but if we wanted this to fold all the way over on itself, we're going to have to change this hinge, so I'm going to plan on not doing that. I'm going to plan on this just being flat on the inside, as opposed to redesigning the hinge again, so that it can fold all the way over. As you can see, the pivot point being down here, the pivot point would have to be up in here, and again, that's up in the elbow, right? That's on the inside of the elbow at that point, in order to get it fold all the way over, which is not aesthetically nice. This is fine right here because this is flush with the arm, right? Whereas if it was extruding out here in order for us to be able to fold all the way over, that would be a problem. Actually, you know what? We did not have this arm joint last time, so the arm popped in fine. It seems like there's a little bit too much strain up here on the recess around the cone. You'll recall that this is a cone right here. So around that recess, it seems a little loose and it seems like it could potentially break. Also, the peg obviously is only 3 or 4 millimeters. I can't remember what. So that is a little prone, but it feels stiff enough to me, especially because most of the wear that's going on this should be going in this direction as opposed to laterally. So I don't really think that's too much of a problem. On the bright side, if either of these two pieces break, they're pretty easy to replace, right? Like, just printing this one piece is not that big of a deal. So it can be fixed if the user ends up with that problem rather easily. It can be fixed rather easily. So back to code, or not code. I clicked on VS Code. There we go, there's Fusion. And onto the legs. So the legs, again, I'm thinking of putting a slide in here and having them slide out. I guess I'll just take the middle line and we'll go from there. So we will project in this wall. I would also like to project in that arm for right now so that I know where that's at. And we should also project in this stuff just so that we know the height that we have to work with, because again, it has to pass below this because the way this trunk works, since we're basing it off of the really old Beetles, is that it pivots on that, which means that we only have below that point to get it out. So let's turn some stuff off. V, and car body. I was thinking I probably should move all these into one component, but for the time being, I'm going to leave it alone. Handle that another time. I did not have time. I only had time to go back and name bodies, and even then I missed a couple. I realized when I went to print the second version of the trunk, but I did not get a chance to name all these down here on the timeline, unfortunately. So eventually I do need to come back and do that, but we need to move forward with life. So we need to stay below this, and the legs specifically need to stay below this. So let's look at the legs really quick. We do have this arm here, so if we assume that the legs should be the same size as the arm, we can go ahead and equal that out. And then we can take this, we can set up, I think probably a box here. And only reason I'm doing a box is just because I can set the bounds up, you know, like this, so that it's constrained. It's just a little OCD thing. Obviously, on this design, because we've been running through so quickly, and it's because we've been using spline lines, I have not been getting constrained sketches. And this, we are going to be really tight on space, so at this point, this is the size of the axle, that is the size of the legs. The legs, obviously, are going to be too tall and are not going to make it out the door, it looks like, because of the axle in the way. Two options. One, we can see where this is at right now and see if we can move these hooks up to give ourselves more space. Right now we are off by, let's find out. So right now, at the very minimum, assuming we don't have any more space we need, we're off by 0.9 of millimeter. About 1 millimeter, we can call it. Actually, let me keep that as is. We can do 0.5 here. So first thing I'm thinking is maybe we shrink up the arms and the legs. And I'm saying both just because, well, let me see. I'm looking at the model. Let's get this transformed really quick. Transformed on the other side. And I imagine the car's about yay big. Honestly, the arm is probably the correct thickness, unfortunately. So I think we're going to have to just thin the legs up Again, actually, let's take a quick look at that hinge. What was I in before? Oh, I was in the top level. I didn't even want the top level to begin with. So hold down Control Z really quick. I wanted to be inside the car body, and honestly, I should make a new component for legs. Okay, but over here on, and I believe the sketch is actually up here instead. Not that one. Yeah, that one. Oh, not that one. That is not that one. Which one? That one? Looks like that one because that's the one where I have the circle there. So this we're basing off this front line. And that. Can we move this up somehow? Take this body off really quick. So we got this tangent here. I think we... Alright, so for the sake of time, I actually don't think we will. Only because that cap that I put in there is probably going to break if I rearrange this. So what I'm looking at right now is this all has to come up. That's the door. That's the swing on the door, right? And basically we would need to change this angle here, it looks like. We could extend that back further to compensate, but this would pivot, this would seesaw on this tangent right here. Seesaw and bring that back. This height right here. How is this height right here set? What are we basing that off of? I'm not really sure what we're basing that off of, what we're basing that height on. I'm not seeing it at the moment. It might be this right here. Yeah, it looks like that. Or at least that's the most direct at any rate. Alright, so let's bring this up. This is the thickness between this pivot and the top of the door. I don't know that that necessarily matters. I think we can shrink that up. Now the only question again is, as this is all moving, because this circle is getting smaller as we do that, because less of this door is going to be sitting inside this little pocket right here. So this angle, I believe, should be changing, which suggests that the angle right here is changing, so there's a potential that that cap might break. It doesn't look like it did, and I don't see any errors on the sketch, I mean on the timeline rather. So since it doesn't look like it did, and I'm not seeing any errors, that means that that very well may have successfully given us enough space, because I shrunk that down by 1 millimeter and we were off by 0.8 of a millimeter. So we may have enough space at this point to get the legs in. Now, unfortunately, that was getting the legs in straight, and we wanted to get the legs in bent. So we'll have to look at that. We'll have to see. I guess the legs could go in straight like the arms, just go in at an angle. That's an alternative. Okay. So let's get this designed. In here, again, I'm gonna grab this stuff of interest. Let me... Yeah, I guess I want... Yeah, that's fine. That. And then I want the inside of the car body. And I think we're probably good there. Oops, we're on the lasso again. Someday I'll find out what sets me over to lasso. But today is not that day. Today's not that day because we spent 50,000 hours on designing one set of hinges. Alright. And work actually has to get done at this point. I'm going to delete this because, again, we may be going at an angle here. Let's toss this clearance box right here again. And I guess this wants to be parallel to that is how this wants to be. Does this have any other positioning on it? It doesn't look like it does. So, actually, deselect that. I want that on there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And make sure this is through that line and this is through that square. And that should give us all the clearances we need. And again, we'll just give ourselves the 0.5 millimeter because we are in desperate need of space. And that does clear the axle now. One thing to say is that axle, I was trying to clear it, but the fact of the matter is that this leg, hopefully, if we're doing this right, is clear of the axle on the Y-plane. So the axle stops here, for example, and then the leg starts. So it wasn't 100% necessary for us to change this, but I figured it was better to do it ahead of time before it became an issue. So, that being the case, let's see. I'm gonna really quick on my physical model, just visualize this. So we got the legs coming out here. Legs coming out here. Actually, you know what? Here. You guys can watch while I'm doing this. So I'm just kind of curious if I line this up, right? Legs probably stop round about here. So does that length look good on the legs is the question. And let's see, it's a knee, so it kind of wants to do this, right? Yeah, okay. So in that case, this would be the same joint. I don't think we can actually copy this. I would like to, but I don't think we can actually copy this body only because this hole right here is for an axle, and this will be on a separate sliding rod that is not an axle unless we made it the same thickness as the axle. If we make it the same thickness as the axle, obviously that eats up a good bit of space inside, but it may not be that big of a deal. But back to the question of, is this length good enough for the mech? So if it stops here, mech, the non-transformer. So it is right here. Our body is about yay big. Do those legs look long enough, or do we look like we got stubby legs? Yeah, I think those legs might be long enough. Here, try to get you a better look at it. Alright, well, my hands are going to be in the way for you, so I think that's probably a decent length for the legs. So for that reason, I believe we are working on 100, and that's not the correct angle. There we go. That is the correct angle for dimensioning. So let us do 0.5 here. Okay, this is funny. My 0.5 changed right here. Do you see that? We are equals, right? Yeah, we are equals. Here's our equal sign. So I wonder how that happened. And the funny thing is that shouldn't I be over constrained right now? Oh, okay. That's how that is happening. So actually, what I want to do is I want to go parallel. Okay, that's not going to let me go parallel. Oh, it's already parallel, isn't it? Yeah, okay, it already is parallel. There we go. Well, that's what I wanted. And we want to slide up. There we go. So this is the leg. I'm not going to do the leg just yet. Well, I guess I can leave it in there. But we need to do a slot for the leg to come out. So let's toss. And yeah, I guess it should be perpendicular, centered. Click that. So for the sake of the argument, actually, you know what? No, we can't go through all the way through the leg like we do on the arm because we're sliding all the way up the leg. And we're not going to actually, we might be able to fit. Yeah, we may be able to fit actual slots in here. The only issue arises is the overhangs and printing. So I'm thinking of just extruding this actually first and then working on the mechanism secondly. So let's see, this is the inside of the trunk, not the outside of the shell of the trunk. So for that reason, we can more or less just go straight at it and make it relatively small, point being, because we can bump more or less right up to the trunk for our spacing. Okay, so there is that. Okay, so we will make the legs here. And we'll want some space between the legs, I think. That's a tricky thing, right? Because the legs need to be kept... Nah, I guess the legs... Yeah, the legs can... Yeah, okay, I think I know how I'm going to do this. So the legs... Let's hit Control Z really quick. The legs will have their own axle. I'll go ahead and make it 5 for right now. And this will be what they both ride on and holds them together. And we want this relatively close to the end of the leg. So we will just tangent right up. That way we have the most amount of swing on the legs. So this will not be used on the sled, on the rails that hold the legs and slide the legs along. It will be used at the very end to stop the legs from, or maybe to snap in, to snap in in order to hold the legs in place during the transformation. Yeah, okay, I think that's how we're doing it. So let's turn the car body back on just so I know where I'm at. And we'll do the passenger, or the driver's side first. So offset this. We'll give ourselves maybe 10 millimeters between legs. We can consider... this is what I'm looking for. Offset, so 5 millimeters. And minus... Do we have arm width? We don't. Because I want to make it the same width as the arms. I think those are 15. Let us come over here to arms. Come in here. Not in there. So arms are 15 thick, but we already have that thickness based on the other sketch. Okay, so there is... And this did not work last time we tried it, but we're going to find out whether or not it does now. And if there was something that broke because of that, I would have cried, because there's no reason anything should have broken, but. So let's check. Minus arm thickness. All right, it's working today. It did not work when we labeled it sketch diameter, or dimension rather, but it is working on at least extrusion parameters. All right, so now the legs are just as thick as the arms. Actually, the axle thickness is more than 5, isn't it? So let's go ahead and up that to axle thickness. I was thinking the axle thickness was 5, but we'll update it to axle thickness. Give ourselves a nice beefy joint in there. We will want to dual segment this, but I'm going to wait on that for the time being. You know, put a hinge in it so that the knee can actually bend. But we will wait on that for just a minute and get the actual sliding mechanism in place. The sliding mechanism, actually, we don't need that one right now. So this is just barely sliding past that, which is acceptable, but we will have to think about that. Part of me is thinking is that we could bring it out more so that it dodges that. That's what part of me is thinking. And we can... Can we get away with just having the axle slide up and down? That's kind of what I'm hoping. And would it look too silly with the legs spread more apart? So if we're looking at the not transformer from this direction. And I'm gonna take this and just slide it down. Translate. Bodies. So that's where the leg's at right now. And we imagine the other one being right there. But if it was, zoom in a little bit to get a finer increment. All the way out here. Would that be that big of a deal? Would that look silly? I don't think that even looks silly. I think that looks acceptable, and that would dodge these things. So back to our placement of these arms. I'm just giving this another look really quick to see if I notice anything wrong after we adjusted those numbers. Because if we don't have to dodge this, because we're over this far, and back to this axle is not going to stick out that far on the inside, I don't believe. So assuming those things are accurate, in that case, we can get pretty close to this edge. And we don't have to worry about squeezing so much in between there. Alright. Let's do that. Alright, what if I increase this to... Well, we can delete this at that point. And actually, I'll just delete all this because we don't need a reference to it anymore. I'm going to increase this by a little bit to give ourselves more freedom. And then... Yeah, it really just depends on what angle we want to do this at. So if we do this... Well, we can't really do it here because the hood is still in the way. And we don't want to... So I guess we want to be below... So the hood goes, theoretically, like that. So long as we are below... Yeah, I think we just need to be below all this. So we can use this constraint right here. Just give it a millimeter. And that should be good. I'm going to preemptively toss the knee in here. Adjust the line to denote the knee. We'll come back and change it later. Yeah, we should be fine here. So, actually, finish and readjust this. So instead of being offset, we'll go object, that wall, change this to a positive number, and offset from that wall. Some amount, let's say 7. I don't want to go full 10, I don't think. And obviously, I went the wrong direction with that. 7 and arm thickness. There we go. And quick sanity check on these hinges. All right, we are still clearing the hinges. My rod right now, my shaft, I just made oversized. It doesn't need to be that big. I just oversized it in case something happened. So we'll just adjust that back in. I'll adjust that back in off stream, just so that we don't waste too much time here. So I'll shrink that shaft up so that it's only hugging these 2 arms, and we don't have to worry about it here. I'll also actually set this back 6, I guess, just to be a little safer. Just a little bit more breathing room. And now we can go ahead and toss in new component, leg shaft. Just come back to center, project out. Rather than using that circle, I'll use the actual sketch. Let's turn some stuff back off. There we go. And we can turn the legs off for the moment. Oh, not that though. The bodies. Because I want to make sure I get the sketch. Okay. Extrude. And this is going to go the full length of the car minus a little bit, because I do think I'm going to use this as the sled at this point. So 2-sided, 2 object there. Looks like that was the wrong 2 object. There we go. 2 object there, and then we'll offset by 1 on each side. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Just so that's not scraping against the side too much. Okay. And then we'll come back to car body. That's gonna probably end up as a D shaft too. But for the time being, let's come back to car body. Get this, get that, that, and that. Okay. Now we can turn that sketch off, turn the body back on, then turn the legs off, etc. and etc. Alright, so now we want a sled that probably wants to run parallel to this, honestly. So I'll probably just set it parallel, parallel, and I guess we'll toss a little bit of, it's probably honestly going to be 0.5 instead of the 1, just so that that is loose in there. And then we can tangent here, and then we can set an offset, or maybe not even an offset. Let's see. That's 0.5 right there, so I'm probably okay there. Yeah, I guess an offset makes sense, and we'll cut off the end here. And then we can probably go collinear with the end of the feet. Let's actually draw in really quick. That can be equal to that. This line centered, so this is our center line. Centered on that. Hook you up. You are just a line for me to gauge. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else, so Just thinking really quick, just thinking. What I think I want, we don't have to lock in on this side, but we probably want to lock in on this side. So let's actually get a circle in here. And this will be the same size as the actual axle itself. And we toss in this line. Set this up 1.5, let's say. Because we just want the axle to snap in, kind of like we're doing with the wheels. Which, by the way, we'll probably also do for the back wheels. Just to keep things simple, we'll snap the back wheels into their axles, even though they're not transforming axles. Otherwise, the issue is, if we don't do that, is that the wheels then have to somehow attach to the body in the back. And probably simpler not to do that. So actually, let's delete this because we want that to run the whole length of the track. And then this at that point can just... it doesn't necessarily matter which. So let's give myself 3 here. Actually, let's make it 2. Nah, it should be 3 really. So this is the outside of it. And then I'm going to leave that alone for a second. We're going to offset this to get the outside of the track. And I said 3, so we'll do 3. So that can tangent there. And then this guy really should tangent there, right? I think that's correct. No, it looks like that's not correct. 3, 3. No, I guess that's right. It's not really right. Does not look right to me. Whichever. Okay. Not gonna sweat about it. So this is the legs. And we only have 3 to the trunk. If we look at the trunk really quick, it's right there. So we probably want to have this collinear with the end of the legs. Try to have this collinear. All right, it's gonna move. I do want to make sure it moved, so we can just collinear this and. So I know this is parallel. I know this is not. This is only joined to that, right? So why can't I move things right now? What is connected that is stopped? Yeah, so that... I guess we can tangent this instead of going collinear. There we go. Okay. And then the only question is why these two are considered unconstrained. I don't see anything that's any movement out of them. So it may just be one of those sketch things. Every once in a while, the sketch decides that something is unconstrained when it's not really. Yeah, actually. 4? Not 4. 3.5. I was thinking 3.5, but 3.5 doesn't really make sense to me. Oh no, I guess it is because it's only a radius. That's only a radius increase. Because I knew I had the 0.5 here. So I was thinking 0.5 on each side, but we're defined only on radius on both instances. I needed this tangent to this is what was happening here. You can't actually do things off of offsets. Fusion doesn't let you. Not 100% sure why, but I actually don't have any reason why it should. Like, I can't think of a reason why it's wrong for it not to. So I will not comment. And actually, yeah, that is a little bit of a problem. So we need to change that back to 3 because that inside. Actually, y isn't this equal? Hold on, Control Y. It is. That. I guess it's just gonna look a little ugly. Okay, I guess it's just looking a little ugly. Because I need to grab that too, is what I was looking at, and I saw this little step. But I guess that makes sense. Okay. So car body. from object, and we can bring this out like 4, let's say. I kind of want it thick. We actually, you know what? Let me hit escape and give ourselves a space to get this shaft in here. Otherwise, you're kind of messing with it, trying to get it in here. It's easier to, I imagine it's easier to bring the shaft up and drop it in the top here, and then trust that it's never going to accidentally pop out on its own. That's my concept here. So we will just toss a little slot in here for it to drop into, and we can call this, we'll call it shaft diameter. That's fine. Or axle diameter, rather. I was thinking about making it smaller because, again, this is going to be a D shaft right here. So if it's a D shaft, we can actually shrink that up, and it makes it less likely that it will pop out, but it's probably not going to pop out to begin with. So it's probably an unreasonable concern at the end of the day. And everything look kosher? I think it does. So from object there, 4 millimeters, like I said. That's what we'll start out with. If we want to change the size, we can. And then the legs will snap in at the bottom here when you pull them out, and that should be good. The trunk should close on that, so if we need to move it back any further, we will. Actually, let me take a look at the sketch really quick. Not that sketch, this sketch. Actually, it does look like we're going to need to move it in. Let's put the trunk on really quick. Oh no, okay, I guess I did give myself enough room. I was thinking maybe I didn't account for that, but that looks like that works. Okay. Turn the legs back on really quick, and the leg shaft. And no, the leg is bumping into the trunk at this point. So we do need to fix that. Plus, we probably want to put a foot on that anyway, which will make it a little bigger. So let's increase this to 8, just to be safe. We still have all this clearance right here. Again, the arm is going to be sitting down here, and we gave ourselves 2 millimeters anyway. So we should be fine. Everything updated correctly. Looks like it. All right, let us come back to the leg shaft. Come up here. Toss this in here. This will break our other sketch. That's fine, honestly. I think it's fine. And the reason I'm doing these shafts just as a reminder is because we want to print these. So it makes it easier to print them laying down than printing them straight up in the air. It can be rather tricky to print them up straight up in the air. Okay, so that should break my other constraints down here. Should have. Oh no, that's right. I took it off the sketch, didn't I? That's why I didn't break it, because I took this off the sketch. Okay, cool. Which is the way I should be doing it, but previously I did not. So. Oh, one other thing I just realized that I didn't mention. I forgot to put these slots in here for the shaft to insert. I had talked about doing that, but had never actually done it. So both these and the holders, both of these got slots in them so that the shaft can fit inside, can snap inside. And again, I'm going to shorten up this shaft, so even though it looks like it's colliding right now, the shaft will be shortened up so it doesn't collide. Alright, so that's our mechanism for getting the what you call it, the legs into the body, transforming the legs. So that is sufficient at the moment. So now we want to do the head. Again, we will come back and turn this into a joint later on, and obviously do all the other stylizing bits. So. The wheel axles back here. I've decided to snap them in. I'm thinking... Yeah, I'll probably just do that off stream. I don't think we need to waste a minute doing that right now. So, let's get working on the head. The head is probably going to just be on a flip base and flip up. Again, we're going to have a cover on the bottom of this, a hinging cover on the bottom. At least on the front half. The bottom half probably we will snap on permanently. It's probably not going to be printed on there because we have to get these axles on here. So, for that reason, just the front half will be hinged. I'm just thinking really quick how much we got to hinge that and where the hinge is going to be. Because the hinge that we've been using so far, so let's look at the arms really quick, are pretty hefty, you know? But the hinge, in order for this to hinge down, right, is going to have to be on the outside, which means that it has to be smaller than the wheels, right? Which may not be that big of a deal. But unless we can sink it in, kind of like how we did here, so we can drop it back a little bit. Alright, I think we're going to be alright. Just trying to think through the ramifications here. Probably alright, probably alright. So, the head is going to flip out of here. So we'll put a shaft in. It will flip up. It needs to rotate around with clearance. The clearance will all be on the bottom where we open up the hinge flap, the hinge cover. So that shouldn't be a problem. And anything else? Anything else we need to think about before we start doing this head? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have a problem rotating it this way because of the shape of this hood right here. It should rotate right beneath it just fine. Rotate out this way. And then we can probably, we'll look at it, but I think we might be able to have a little ridge like this, which slots into the hole created on the front hood. I think we might be able to do that. I think that might work. All right, let's get drawing. And I do think we'll make a component first. This is going to be head, axle. Let's project this out. Whoops. I thought I was already in the sketch for some reason. There we go. Project this out. And I'm also going to want that as well. I may not need this for right now, but we have it just in case. Turn stuff off. Wheels on the car go round and round. So I think I want this towards the bottom, just like the other thing. The thickness, let's make it the same thickness as everything else, just 15 by 15. Although it probably should be a little bit more oblong, so let's make it 20. So this is going to be the head. I think, again, I can just bring this collinear here. This will want to be center to that. This will be in the center of the car, so I think we won't run into anything. Let's take a quick look. If this is center, there's the arms and axles. Yeah, so that stops there. This is going to be, this may be a little bit shorter. Maybe a little bit shorter. We'll see. May actually be a little bit longer. And if this head is extruded out symmetrically, let's extrude it out symmetrically really quick, just so I can see. Symmetric, and we'll make it like, kind of should be wider. But let's make it 20. Yeah, so that is actually getting right close there. So we may need to dodge that in that case. Let's see. Can this be right up against, is there any problem with it being right up against this? Only a little bit of problem, because back to, I was thinking about having the grooves that slot into this front hood. So if I leave myself $3mm, actually the top part here, and then this would be the front hood shell. And then we'd want another 3mm underneath of thickness. So this is the empty space. Actually, I guess this is going to be solid anyway. And I had it in my mind that it would be longer, but maybe we only make it the same thickness as the head. And then we need, again, well, we will not be extruding this right now, so it's fine to be a, what you call it, a construction line. That is 3mm. And yeah, I'm leaving that construction line. Then this would have to be tangent to that. Or actually, maybe not tangent to that. Maybe offset a little bit. Let's just say 0.5, because again, we're running out of space here. So a little bit of breathing room between that tangent. And then this has to be centered on that. So this line right here, because this part right here is going to be on top of there. So that line, right? Yes. So that dot to that dot has to be equal. And we want this to be beefy like 5. Okay, so yeah, we are going to have a problem here. But not by much. It's only, as you can see, that much right there. So if we just shrink the head down a little bit, we clear it then. And actually, we can even play with the numbers a little bit. and see how risky we want to be. Okay, so there's the shaft. This is the head. So let's, and actually this is construction lines here. So we'll extrude that out. Car body. Two-sided, and I keep on meaning to, give me a second after I get this done, because I keep on meaning to, actually, hold on. We've been doing D-shafts, so, to make it printable. So let me just do that now, instead of coming back and doing it afterwards. And we are in head axle, so that's fine. All right, so half a second while I turn these lights off. All right, there we go. So they're no longer in my eyes. Hydrate a little. And I'll draw the holders for it in just a minute. Let's get the head in here. It's one of these things, I got the arms here, right? I got the arms outside of the car body, which makes sense to me, but then I went and put the legs on in the inside of the car body, which probably I should just move out now. Just admit I made a mistake, and rather than recreate them on the outside, we'll just have this thing on our, you know, on our timeline saying whoops. Just accept that we made a mistake. And now we add the head, and I'm just going to reuse that sketch from the head axle. Turn that on. This does not have to be the same size as the head, and I don't think we will make it the same size as the head. And the fact of the matter is that this actually is going to be round. Let's just extrude this and then set up a joint and see where it ends up. So symmetric, and I was saying like 20, although now we're smaller, we're like 17 high, and this is overall distance. It's gonna be a bit of a square head, I guess. We'll take a better look at it in a minute. So there's that, and then let's set this up, that and that. And this is a revolve around that. Okay, and let's revolve that 180. 180. I'm just thinking the best way to do this, because I need to create, basically recreate this hood right here. And as you can see, back to, this was not actually a square, this was a little bit longer, so we probably need to compensate for that a little bit. Let us come back here. So let's make this 4. And this is gonna have to come down to like 15 at this point. And that looks like just barely dodging. Finish. And now at this point the head wants to be the same size as that. I mean, the head looks awfully small on the body. I gotta admit, the head looks awfully small on the body. So, okay, so when we transform, the axle goes out. So if we pull the arms out first as part of the transformation sequence, then kind of like how the legs are above the arms, we can put the head above the arm axle as well. So let's go ahead and do that so we have more space. So we'll get rid of this collinear, drag this up, and what is that? Is fine. Kind of want this tangent. Let's turn that stuff off. And the body. I want this. Well, give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. 1 millimeter. And then tangent that. And what exactly is... Alright, it's this parallel. Where's this parallel at? That guy? Okay, there we go. Actually, you know what? I still need to throw a cone on the end of that axle to keep it from sliding off. So let's call this more like 2. And I'll just commit to a very small cone on that axle. Alright, there we go. So that will swing out that way. It doesn't necessarily matter that it's at a weird angle to the hood. I don't believe it matters that it's a weird angle to the hood. We are going to need a collar here. Let's make it just 2 instead of 3, and then this tangent right here then has to slide back to be tangent to that. Okay. So there is that. Now, next up, we wanted this head to be bigger. So let's make this 30. Finish. And then the head thickness will also be 30 at this point. And the pivot here, that guy, 180 plus 25, I believe is correct, because I have it at a 25 angle right here. All right. So there is that. So let's look at the body. All right, cool. So we are clear now. And it's fine that we have this little bit of a gap. So, what I'm thinking at this point is actually having the neck be kind of small. So I drew it full size here, but what if, finish, this guy, what if instead we just have this as 10? Okay, never mind. That guy is up in here. This collinear, get rid of this collinear, and that collinear, and call this 10, and make sure that that is concentric, or not concentric, midpointed there. And actually, let's go a little bit further. Let's go 5. Finish. And let me now come back to, yeah, that's the head. So let's come back to here and get that extruded, the neck extruded. And we'll go I'm just thinking about this really quick. So the funny thing is that actually, yeah, this. So what? This rotates up this way. So this is the back of the head right now. That's the front of the head. So I'm actually thinking about having the neck go all the way to one side. So even though I just midpointed that, I may change that. But let's go 10 here. Symmetric full distance. Join. So that's the neck. And let's come back here to the sketch. And instead of this being midpointed, let's see. Let's grab this sketch line right here and turn this body off. All right, Fusion, give me the midpoint. And yeah, which one is the midpoint I want? That one? Yes, that one. Very good. So if this is the front of the face, maybe we go collinear here. So I guess the only problem with that, so maybe instead of doing this, maybe we collinear that, because the problem is that I do have to connect to the center joint here. So did I get a double line there? I did get a double line there. And you are perpendicular to that. That's fine. And I'm going to toss that in there. So let us make all that extrude as well. And yeah, I guess I may as well do the ring now too. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. All right, come all the way up, I guess. There we go. And turn the body back on so we can see our handiwork. All right, so yeah, this is what I was looking at. And the reason I didn't go all the way back is because I don't want to actually take that much of a bite out of the roof. I want it to be hidden by the bite that we take out. I want to be hidden by the head so you don't notice it. If we took the full length of the head out of the roof, then you'd kind of be able to see it, you know, on the back side. This hides it a bit more. The one thing I am a little concerned about is we are coplanar here, but, or not coplanar, but parallel. Our planes are parallel here. Yeah, 0 degrees. So our planes are parallel, but we are matey, not parallel, or not coplanar. We are not coplanar. We are parallel. Our planes are parallel. What do I need to change to fix that? I mean, it looks like the head just needs to rotate back a little bit more, but how do I determine that in the sketch? How do I set that so that we don't have this mistake in the future? You know what? We don't actually need the head. We could design the head out here first and then rotate it around because we have extra room in the hood. Yeah, okay, so I can do that. No, I don't want to do that though because I've got the... let's see. Yeah, okay, I don't like doing it the other way, but we will. I don't like doing it this way, but we will, because this guarantees that, no, because I have this equals right here to make sure that we're... Actually, no, this equals shouldn't necessarily matter. Okay, that equals shouldn't necessarily matter. Can you rotate for me, please? Alright, I'm going to do this. Let's get rid of that. Let's get that coplanar. I'm just going to redesign it over here and keep that around until I get it done. And actually now, by doing this, I can just click that and then toss my neck in here and make sure my neck is clearing all of that. So that does make my life easier. And the neck thickness was half of 15. So let us get this in here, 15. And then this is divide by 2. There we go. And then. Actually, you know what? Remember how I said I was going to have this line up right on here? And that way it slots around the car thing. I like that because it held it more in place better. Held it in place better. More in place better. Very good grammar. But it is probably unnecessary because the front clip here should keep the head from rotating back down. So for that reason, we are probably going to... So now, I just need to determine how far in we want this. Probably not 3. Let's say 1. So this is... We can set the distance from the floor, I'm pretty sure. And then we can determine this distance. I don't think it matters. I'm not seeing anything that indicates to me that it matters. So I think we can do that. And then just touch this up by making it look nice. Where's my tangent? There we go. Alright, so I think we can do that. Whoops, I did not delete everything. Delete all this extra stuff. There we go. Now, the head obviously broke, so we need to go fix that. That guy, that guy. Turn the body off. That guy, and this little guy in here. There we go. And the width is 30, I believe, is what we're at right now. Okay. Oh, although the neck is not 30. The neck we were making skinnier. So, deselect those guys again. It was just the head on this one, and then we do the other one separately. So there's that. And then this one is plus these guys. And that is a join. That is correct. There we go. And now. Now we rotate this back. And actually it still has the joint on there, which is nice. So now this is minus 180 plus 25. Or maybe it was just a plus 180 plus 25. Oh, hold on. Minus. There we go. That actually does not look like we clear it. So that's just barely over this. Probably because of this angle. Because we moved this angle, that makes sense. So, I guess we just play with the number until we clear. Because again, it can rotate any amount. So, We'll capture that position. And again, I don't particularly like doing it this way normally, but. We're gonna live with that. Sorry, just checking something really quick because it looks like I just goofed something up a little bit over here on the other screen. Okay, there we go. I don't know how I did it, but pretty clearly did. So I believe, let's see. What we need to do is we can actually reuse some of this if we want to. Basically, I need to snag this hood where it intersects and clear it out. So project that. Let's turn the body off really quick. Oh wait, no, I am in the top level. We don't want to be in the top level right now. I made that mistake before. We want to be in the head for right now. And make sure, what the heck is that origin? I don't want that origin. I want my actual origin over here. Let's see. Nope, not that one. XE? XE. Alright. Oh, I know why that origin was off. That origin is off because I rotated the whole entire component. That's what happened. That makes sense. Okay. That origin's back off. That's good. So, project out this sketch stuff. So that. There's only this one sketch line down here? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I did not get the body. I just got the front profile. That makes sense. And we turn this body off and grab that ring for reference. And this is my parting line. So we now connect all that stuff. Let me turn that sketch off now that I'm done with it. So we connect this up to the circle. Tangent. There we go. It doesn't necessarily need to be tangent. I am just doing that because I like the flow of it better. Actually, do I even like that one to flow better? This may be close enough that it makes more sense to go straight across. Okay, now we connect that, turn that body on. Two-sided, to object. That is the correct side. Distance to object. There we go. That is the correct side, and that is the arc, right? Yes. Okay. And actually, I'm thinking that I should have cut out the rotation arc there. So back to this is rotating around here. That point is rotating around here. So we actually need to cut all that out as well, because that's how that point rotates. So let me get an actual point in there to connect to. So that point, quinky dink with that, quinky dink with that. There we go. So. We'll probably just cut this in the hood. It's one of those things. It's gonna be real close. Actually, this one too. I just realized, because this is rotating all the way down there. Do I gotta grab all this? I didn't want to grab all this. I only wanted to grab here. if I move this back more, that just makes my problem worse, right? Because it makes the circle bigger, the axis point, the pivot bigger. Huh. We're having another problem now. Because as this point rotates up, it... Alright, you know what? Actually, let's bail on this. And... What we want to do is we want to flip this up is what we'll want to do. I mean, that's the easier way is what I'm trying to say. It's easier to flip this up. It's just having a hinge right here is kind of ugly. I'm just trying to think if there's a better way to hide that hinge. Can't waste too much time on this unless because yesterday we wasted so much time on the other one. So let's hit Control Z a bunch. Well, you know what? Let me just make sure I'm not going insane here. Finish sketch. So as I rotate this, let's make sure that we're actually first combined car body with that. Cut, keep tools. Okay. So that is cut so that we are exactly taking that out, but just so that I can prove that I'm not insane and this is a problem. As this head transforms, yeah, it cuts right through there. So, and the back end, back to the back end is going to go even deeper in, which is the problem. And I didn't want to make it so tall that when we flip back over here, 0 degrees. So when we got here, all that space it cut out, right, would be empty. Although all that space is hidden behind the head still because we made the neck so small. All right, you know what? We may actually live with this. Okay. So let's cut that and we'll use that too. In which case I'll get rid of this line right here and cut. Oh no. If I do this, I'm just pushing it off. Never mind. I was going to add this to that, but then at that point, right? Actually, no. Am I? No, I may not be. Okay. I might be alright. I don't know. It's one of these things where I might be overthinking things at this point because we are in a serious rush here. So, actually, that's a little bit of a problem because that is on the front side of the head. So that's going to be sticking out the chest, it looks like, if I'm understanding this correctly. So let me do this instead. Finish. And then this needs to be with that. Okay, join. And did we cut out the body? Did we save cutting out the body? I don't think we did, so let's redo that. Cut, keep tools. All right, now let's rotate. Come up here to the top. Let me just scroll to the end. All right, cool. And I'm gonna hit OK right here and just capture, interference, that and that. Compute, no interference. Okay, cool. Let's go minus 210, or I guess not minus 210. Okay, we're going down, so let's go 295. Okay, capture, inspect, not inspect, interference. Calculate. All right, cool. So we are clearing. And I guess the other thing I should have done is just gone like this and watched it instead of constantly checking the interference. All right, so we are clearing. That makes sense to me. But here's what I was talking about. So at 0 degrees, this is now sticking out the front, as you can see. Let's get a side profile. Rotate this way. And maybe just go all the way over here. So it would be sticking out like that. And we have the bottom cover right here that's supposed to clip up over top of that. If it wasn't supposed to stick out, or if the bottom cover wasn't supposed to cover that up, then I might consider leaving it and then putting a logo, you know, putting the VW logo, for example, right in the middle there. And then the VW logo would actually be on its chest. Unfortunately, obviously, as you can see, we got a little bit of an issue with that. So let's revert. Let us... let's hit Control Z a bit. There we go. Yeah, this should be fine. And then let's see if we can do something with this sketch to avoid that. I don't think we can, but we gotta at least consider our options. Okay, here is an idea. It may be a bad idea, but it's an idea. Let me Control Z, toss this back to 0, and look at it really quick. It's doable. Okay, it is doable. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to delete these. That positioning, I don't know actually what it's doing right now. On this sketch, I'm going to change this to flap instead. And we're going to attempt, and if this works, then that's fine. We're going to attempt to put this on the axle as well. So the front hood thing that moves out of the way on the axle instead. And we'll clip it in place to the base, in theory, when this is stowed away. That way it doesn't move. And then when you unclip the front, that allows it to rotate. We kick it out of the way as you go around. So that should work. So let's get that designed. Cancel. Revert. Oh no, don't revert. Control Z. Capture. Okay. Now. Oh no, what am I clicking? There we go. Alright. Grab that guy. Grab. Turn that off, turn that off, turn the body off, grab this stuff, that is the head on, no that is not on, so that is the sketch object, and grab that. Hopefully this works. So I'm going to need, once again, this to go to there, or my reference point up here. Actually, I don't need a reference point up there. This, we're going to need that there. Is this going to work? I think this is going to work. Hopefully this works. I probably didn't need that line actually, so I'm just going to delete this line. Deleted. And then we will go, let's see, where is the head in the other orientation? Did I not have that rotated? Finish. Hold on. Hold up a minute. What did I capture position? Head. What's this capture position? Okay. Control Z. Delete that. Finish. Delete. I want you back in the... There we go. Yes. Back in there. So I can see where I can connect to without running into it. Project that. And so long as... Actually, no, this is going to be free floating. So I'm not going to actually connect this point right here. I don't think it matters. I think I actually have more leeway than I think right here. I think. So there's that. And then we just need to connect this down here. You know what? I don't know what that midpoint is. Let's turn the head off really quick. What is that midpoint? I actually don't know. I'm just gonna call it 45 degrees. That's fine. And then, so we're gonna extrude this the same size as the neck, so that the neck, whoops, profile plane two-sided, object, there we go. So this is the area the neck is clearing, but on the inside we actually need to go when we around the neck hinge is the idea here. So on the inside here, grab our sketch again. Let's turn some bodies off so we can see what we're doing. That axle can go off now. Actually, no. Yeah. Turn the head off. And where's my sketch at? There we go. Turn this body off is what I wanted. So here and here and here. I think this is going to be correct. Body. And it's either extrude this in 2 steps or it's either extrude it in 2 steps or cut it. I think I'll just cut it for sake of simplicity's sake. I'm actually getting a little concerned about how this is going to turn out. I was thinking it was going to turn out better than this, but I think I might not be doing too great right now. 5. Join to object. That 5 join. And then we need to cut, combine that with that, cut, keep tools. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking. You see that joint in there, that cross section? So in between that and printing this, so this is going to be printed on its side. Let me rotate. So this is the orientation it's going to be printed at. And we can even come around here to give yourself a more isotopic view. It's going to be printed in that orientation, which means that this bottom side is going to need supports. There's no other way around it. This is round right here, so we can't print this face down as an alternative. So in between this little bit of meat not being enough, and because we want to keep this hole in the front cab as tight as possible to the head so that the head doesn't shake around too much. That is the idea here. So in order to make this work better, I would have to we could shrink this down. No, we can't shrink this down. We could shrink just the ring down and leave the neck the 10 millimeters. So shrink the ring down so that it's a little bit smaller than the neck. And that would give us more meat in this corner right here. I guess we'll try that out. So let's see. That would be down in head. So instead of doing this, we deselect that. What is going on here? Oh, got to turn the sketch back on. That is what's going on here. That, and that. Only do the neck for right now. And I think things are going to break, technically speaking, right now, but let me go back like this, and then step forward, and then re-extrude these guys. I probably could throw some more meat in between is the other thing I was thinking if this doesn't work, but this is probably good enough. So distance, symmetric, pull, and make this 8, let's say. Well, that's 1 on each side, so let's make it 6. Okay. And now come back up. And we're working off of sketches. We've only been taking sketches for everything else, so I'm pretty sure we're still good. So now if we look here, we can see that we have this overlap between that and that. One of those things. There's no getting away from this overhang right here, unfortunately. But everything else should be fine. Just one thing. My center hole is missing. Where is... That's not the sketch I'm using, right? This is the sketch I'm using. Turn this head off. It's only 2 profiles, right? Oh, I see what's going on here. I think I see what's going on here. This is the head flap right here. Turn that sketch off. Yeah, I'm only projecting out the ring, so I also need the outside. So let's turn the head off. Turn that sketch back on. Turn that axle on. Okay. There we go. Turn the sketch off. Finish sketch, and then come back in and adjust that selection. There we go. Join. All right. Now we have some overlap there in the corner, so it's not just hanging off. There's that. And now we need to add in some offsets. That's not offset. I don't know why I've been doing that recently. It's weird. I never did that before, but recently I've been misselecting. New offset. That, and that should be fine. I don't think we need the other ones. Don't think we need the other ones. So, 0.2. This isn't one of those things that needs to be super loose. So we'll go with 0.2 just so that it's loose enough not to interfere. And this is not interfering with the flap. That's the offsets for the flap. We also need to offset the body. And actually, we still haven't compound the body with the head flap. So we'll do that. Cut and keep tools. Turn the head flap off, and then we can offset the body. Whoops. Offset the body. Minus 0.1, just 0.1, because again, everything should be pretty tight in here. I want the head to be tight in there, for example. And I guess we also want the head and the head flap to be extra loose on the shaft. So let's get that set up. Minus 0.3. Again, we're doing 0.3 for extra loose stuff. That way they have absolutely no friction at all. They will be a little bit wobbly, but I'm willing to take that trade-off. Especially because in this situation, both the flap and the head will be constrained and won't be as wobbly because of their interaction with the... Not visible. What do you mean not visible? Oh. Wait. Huh? Minus 0.3. Okay. So this will lock them in, basically, is what I was getting at there before I got distracted myself. Okay. So, we turn that on. Let's go ahead and toss a joint in here for the front flap. Front flap on... That's inside the car body. Head axle. Head axle is not on. There it is. And right on the center point of the axle. Okay. And we can actually, I'll go ahead and motion link these two guys. Motion link. That way when we move one, we'll move the other. So this comes around, and this doesn't have to move all the way this far. So if I suppress this motion link right here, joints, motion link, suppress, now I can drag this guy back, and this guy can hang out in there, and hopefully not interfere with anything. So he looks to be clearing the bottom right now, so I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit capture and then check interferences really quick. No interferences. Yep, so cool. So that can hang out on the inside, just chilling. Actually, hold on. Does that interfere? That does interfere. Crap. Crap. These flanges stick out further. That's a problem. I thought we were in the clear here. The head can only rotate one direction. It can only rotate this way, so we can't... Huh. Okay. We're going to do this the opposite direction, and that should work. So, we're going to hit Control-Z a bunch. Shoot me. Okay. Okay. Major bummer. Major bummer. So this instead is going to be 14. That's going to be 14. The head, not the head, the head flap. Instead of extruding like that, we are going to extrude it 10. So we are going to symmetric all, whoops, not symmetrical. Distance, pole is what I meant, 10. Okay. And then we're going to combine the other direction. So we will delete that. I think we should be fine. And honestly, this doesn't have to be 14. This can be bigger. We'll fix that in just a second. So let's come back here. Actually, let's come all the way back here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's look at the whole overview. There's that. Okay, yes, this is where I want to be at. So we'll combine the other direction. So head. Combine that and that. Cut that. Keep tools. And like I said, we can, as you can see, that's not really that bad. Alright, so we can make that even wider. Like I said, so 16 should be 3 on each side, right? 10 plus 3 plus 3. So now we have 3 millimeters on each side. And now those, we don't need the outsides anymore. And because the flap is, although we do want, actually, you know what? Maybe I just put all, maybe we delete this one. Since this is the thinner object now, maybe we delete this and then just do the offsets on the head flap. So head flap, then offset that and the outsides. Turn the head off out of the way. Turn the car body out of the way. So that, and... oh, I can't do... that is connected to that at that point. So... alright, never mind. We will offset that by 0.3. That is still fine. But the insides of these guys are going to have to happen on the head. So, I'm going to do this, and then turn the head flap off and get the left and right here offset by 0.2. Failed to... why failed? Turn this off out of my way. I actually don't know why. Because we're not interfering with any bodies. Right? Minus 0.1. Like, we're not changing any geometries. It already has that geometry. The geometry is not changing. Huh. Did I select something weird? I don't think I did. Okay. Okay, this is what we can do. We will get around this by using the sketch. Turn that sketch on. Let's turn that off and the body off. And then we will turn... actually, not this sketch. Wrong sketch. This sketch. Turn that off. Just grab that. From object, that. minus 0.2. There we go. And then extrude body manual offsets from object. Whoops, not to object, from object. Distance minus 0.2 or 0.2. Okay. And then let me check this line out. This line is just kind of arbitrary right here. Let's go with that and see whether or not that causes me any grief. Turn the head back on. I don't think it will. It does a little bit. Okay. So let's hit Control Z, Control Z. And where's the head at? Project this out so that we know we're not hitting it. Turn the head back off. Those are construction lines. And 0.5, just to make sure. Alright, cool. So that shouldn't interfere with the head while it's closed. We have some offset here. Do we need an offset on the inside here? Maybe just in case. Minus 0.2. It almost looked like something weird happened there, but I don't think it did. So there should be no interference now between the head and everything else. Let's take a quick look. Let's come back up to the top. Roll to the end of the thing. All right, we only have offsets here. Which offsets are these? I want to make sure I didn't double up on any offsets here while I'm... What is this? Head. Head flap. It looks like there's interference there, but that may just be the engine. Yeah, no interferences. So it just looks like there's interference right there. Just the way it's drawing it. The GUI. But it looks like we're good. And then, don't have my motion link anymore. And don't have, it doesn't look like, the front flap either. I'm only seeing the one. So, let's get that set back up. Head flap on the head axle, and turn the head axle on. Use the center of that. Okay. And I'm just going to manually spin this stuff. Well, okay. Go to 0. Not you. This guy. Drive joint. Spin you around and around and around. Okay. Alright, so that is where it would end up. Let's make sure we're looking at this flat, and then let's make sure that, whoops, Control Z, this can fit up in there. So that looks like that's fitting up in there. Check for our interferences again. Capture positions, doink, doink, doink. Calculate, no interferences, so everything is kosher there. And then I'm gonna turn this head off and just watch this rotate around to make sure no funny business is going on here that I don't expect. Let's come here. Yeah, okay, that should be good. Let's rotate this round about there. Capture and check just to make sure. Interferences, no interferences. All right. What did I Control Z? Okay, I undid capture position. That's fine. Let's revert everything. Let's actually, the head is where it should be in the non-transformed version anyway right now, so that actually can stay there. We need to add these cups in, and since they're so low to the ground, I actually won't need to worry about this loft here. I'll just extrude it straight up. So, hop into the car body. Grab that. Project out that. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab the original sketch just to make sure we don't get any shenanigans. That one. Oh no, this is the one we're on right now. Where is... There we go. There's that. Alright, so body, head flap can go off, head can go off, body can go off. And now we project out that guy. Okay. Now turn that back on, turn that off, turn that off. And toss our cup in here. And we can bring it again straight down to the floor because it's not that far. Not that big of a deal. The extra plastico. And this is 1 for 5 is what we've been going for. 5mm axis. And can turn that on. And just gotta set the thickness here to 3. Ooh, okay, maybe not 3. You know what? We can just make that solid and we'll compensate. And actually, at this point, just delete that. Alright, body. From object that, 3mm, other direction. Am I missing anything here? Join. We are inside the car already, right? Yeah, we are. What is this? Was ist das? Why do I have an extra body? Oh, did not join? Okay, that did not join. Oh, I forgot. That's right, that's right. For the snap-in, we were doing this as well. Finish. Let's come back here, figure out where that's at. And that appears to be right here. And this was supposed to be a join. Okay. We now only have one body. That's good. There we go. Okay. Boink, 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 boink. Object, 3mm. Minus 3mm. Join. Okay. There we go. This one actually is probably... What do we make this? We made this 4mm? I'm not too concerned. And then for the shaft, I forget because we've been running around with our head cut off. Did I offset both ends of this? I did not. So, I didn't... Actually, you know what? Let us just... Okay, that is a D shaft, so that's good already. But, turn this on. We'll just put an offset instead. And honestly, it should be kind of stiff, so I'll just do the 0.1 on either side. Car body back on. Let's get this mirrored. Come back up to the car body. Mirror that feature. And actually, we can mirror both of these while we're at it. Where's this guy at? There's that. Scroll down. This guy, that guy. that guy and that guy. And I didn't modify this otherwise, right? I didn't put an offset on this. All right. Mirror plane. Center. Okay. And it failed on the one. Optimized. There we go. So, let's take a step back. Didn't offset that for printing purposes, and I didn't offset the cup over here either. I guess I turn... Whoops, not that. Analysis. Oh, analysis is on the wrong side. Okay, I will suffer. That's fine. Minus 0.1. Okay. And now we can reselect that one with it. With the mirror. Okay. And... Alright. So, now we need the snap-on cover on the bottom. Let us see. So at this point, I'm kind of thinking not even to bother putting a snap-on for this centerpiece. We're going to let that hang, I think. So, but just be snapping on everything else. And I'm thinking it's probably easiest. So we need a hinge in the middle. So we're in car body right now. So let's do, I think I'm going to do another top level one. So car, what do I want to call it? Carriage cover? I guess that's what I'm calling it. So let's project, well, yes, I will just use the origin, and then I want to project all this stuff, the whole entire edge. Okay. So the hinge for the front can honestly be anywhere behind this point. We don't need that much. Oh no, that's right. We do need enough room. Nah. So the arm moves and we can bring the legs out first. So since we can bring the legs out first, we can move the legs out first, we can move the legs out of the way first as the first part of the transformation. Then the arm will have room to rotate up in order to get out. So we can only put a flap closer to the front. So I think I will go ahead and project out this just as an arbitrary line. Actually, yeah, let's use that instead. That is a more natural arbitrary line. Okay. I'm going to turn all that to construction lines. Turn that back to a solid line because that's going to be my hinge. The hinge, this is going to want to be printed flat in this orientation. The hinge, therefore, is going to be a little bit of a problem, I think. just because that's going to need support. I think. It's probably not that big of a deal. I'm probably making it out to be more of a big deal than I need to. If we have the hinge up a little bit, so long as we have clearance for it, we should still be alright. So that the hinge is, the round part of the hinge is off the floor. We don't want to print this standing up on edge like this. This would be a bad way to print it, just because it's all sorts of unstable and whatnot. It doesn't have nearly enough surface contact with the print bed. So we'll probably be alright. So let's go ahead, turn the car body. Actually, at this point, I can turn all these back on and then just shut the car body off by itself. Close, and there we go. So we will have one box back here. Actually, since I have a box anyway, we'll construction line that guy. And let us set this up. We're going to extrude this up as the rear. And we'll go 3, and we got to go the opposite direction. So this is a new component. Rear cover. And I got a lot to rename again because we made so many bodies without updating. And let's see. The back axle shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. Looking at the back axle will be above this, so that shouldn't be a problem. Again, we're going to put a slot in here for it to snap in, but that's not going to interfere with anything. I'm trying to think of a way to cover up, because what I want to do is, let's hop in. Actually, I'm going to hop in here first for this sketch. What I want to do is just use little bulbs. I don't know why I tried selecting 2 halves of the one cover. That was a little silly. So I kind of want to use little bulbs like this to connect to the main body. And yeah, it doesn't have to be that tall. Vertical on there. And then the width here is, honestly, I was only looking for like 3 on. I keep on saying honestly. So 3 there, and then this width would just want to be like 2.5, let's say, for the snap in. And then we'll replicate that over here. Boop. Boop. Do I have this right angle, or do I have this on centers on the sides? Actually, do I want that centered? Alternatively, I could tangent that right there. Let's connect this here. Let's see how it looks. Connected now? Yes. Tangent there. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. So let's not center this guy. Just get this right across. There. Whoops. Okay, and then tangent there, and tangent there, and quinky dink. there, and there. And then just make everything equal. I could mirror it. That's reasonable, but I'm not sure whether or not I want to just yet. And equals on the circles. Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense. This just has to be tangent on there. And actually, this isn't necessary, right? Okay, now it's necessary. Or now it's, I mean, it wasn't necessary. There we go. So there's that, and then is this? No, that's not right. That is the same there. That is the same there. Oh, I made these tangent. That's why. I was wondering why that was not quite correct. Okay. So this is going to be necessary to do that. There we go. There we go. That is going to be tangent there. And I think everything else is... Nope, it's not. Okay. That equal to that. There we go. And now, from here, we'll look at 10. So this is going to be in the wall. So I guess I wasn't very clear earlier why I said why I would need to cover this up, because my idea here is to extrude these inside of the wall. Or not inside of the wall, but like through the wall, because my wall is only 3mm thick to begin with. So, buddy from object -3, and okay. So as you can see, if I turn this back on, you can see these on the side. Now, maybe that's all right. Maybe it doesn't necessarily matter that you can see that, especially because, for example, on this clip on the backside, let me turn the camera back on right quick. Camera back on so we can see this IRL. Let's get this out of the way. Turn the camera back on. All right, camera back on. So hopefully with this clip, my hope was kind of that, so long as the print turned out well, because of the offsets, that it would kind of blend in. Now, as you can see, it doesn't quite blend in, but so long as they're the same color, it's probably not that noticeable. Okay. I'm not entirely sure, aside from just poor print quality, why it is not as flush here as it probably should be, especially because, again, I included the print offsets. But we could consider the same thing here, where it's such a small feature that... Actually, you know what? We probably don't want to do this anyway. Only because, in theory, this can slide left and right. The wheels will hold it in, but maybe what we want to do is only put it on the inside. And maybe, additionally, we can create little inward hubs as well. Okay, no, that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable solution. So, turn my lights back off for my desk. Alright, so in that case, let's go -3. Actually, we don't have to go -3 so long as we select the inside of the wall. So let's just select the inside of the wall. So now these are on the inside. And we will just create little covers for them. Oh, Control Z. Deselect that, try that again. And turn that back on so we join. There we go. So if we create little covers for these on the inside, then that more or less solves our problem. I guess I will. Let's do it on the front one instead, and then copy over to the back one. Buddy. Car buddy. Thank you, buddy. Do that. There we go. There we go. And then we'll just cut around that, obviously. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Tangent. Tangent. And then equals. Finish. Okay, come back to the car body. Thank you, body. Sketches, sketches, sketches. And extrude this out. From object, that 3 millimeters minus 3 millimeters. Join. I wonder why it hates joining the car body. Join. And then we can toss some offsets in here. And this shouldn't interfere with the legs coming out. It should be mentioned. Just a minus 0.1 because we do want these to be tight. Mirror these two, crossed the center, and adjust again has been failing recently. That is hilarious. That is very hilarious. I preemptively, wow, okay, we are on features, right? Yep. I preemptively change off of adjust and suddenly optimize fails. And adjust accepts but is not optimized identical. All right, we'll live with it. We'll live with it. All right. The other thing, and I don't think I mentioned this, is I'm thinking about actually just leaving this flapping. I was talking originally about also having this. I had said this one I'd leave flapping, but I was talking about having this clip down. But I actually don't think that's necessary. We could turn this end into a circle as well, so that this rod clips in here, clips in at both sides. We could do that. Alternatively, I just don't worry about it, and then we say, okay, well, this door, the feet aren't going to fly out the back end of the door. Hopefully. Hopefully. In order to avoid having to attach a clip to the tailgate and back hood, whatever the heck it is. All right, so rear cover, and let's get the rear cover mirrored. A mirror. That, select that plane, please. Thank you. And we'll leave it at adjust this time and see what happens. All right, as you can see, adjust failed. Let's turn the car body off. Optimized. There we go. Optimize worked. All right. These clips do feel a bit small. We'll revisit that if necessary. We don't have that much time again to do test prints, unfortunately, but one of those things. This is the world we live in. So I think I am going to back this up a little bit though, because we do need to fit the hinge in here. So we'll back that up a little bit to make sure we have room for the hinge. And now, turn this back on. We should have room, I think, in the front end to do the same exact thing. The only problem with the front end is that it is curved. We don't have a flat wall. But I think we can get away with sneaking some clips in like that, up and down. The alternative is actually, turn the head on really quick. Yeah, the alternative is actually we could, in theory, clip onto this shaft right here. So hinge and then clip onto the shaft, and that would be pretty sturdy just because of how thick we're going to make the clips there. I don't hate that idea because when pulling the bottom, the front cover down, we'll be pulling into these cups. So we'll have good, you know, resistance to that. And that keeps it simple because we don't have to add anything else. So let's turn some other stuff back on so that we can make sure that we're not running into anything when we do these hinges. So the only thing we can run into is these arms. Again, we'll have another arm right here. But so long as we could do either one hinge or two hinges like here and here. So either one long hinge in the middle, which is reasonable. Yeah, one long hinge in the middle is probably the best way to go. So let's go ahead, come back in here. Go ahead and drop our second box in here. Get it lined up and then extrude it, and then we can move on to doing clips and hinges. The hinge, yeah, we'll just extrude this and then we'll subtract for the hinge after that. Finish, extrude this, not that. Oh, I'm upside down. That is what's going on here. Turn you guys back off. Extrude that to the same height as the rear cover. Just use that as our truth. New component. And this is the front cover, or front flap, I guess I'll call it. Front flap cover. Make sure that body is labeled for right now. Again, have a bunch of other bodies that need to be labeled yet. And now let's go ahead and do the hinge first. Nah. We'll do the clips first and then we'll come back for the hinge. So we will start a sketch on center just as a reference point, and then turn the car body back on. I'm going to turn these joints off for a second. We're going to, I think I actually want to still work off of the sketch rather than the objects themselves. So body, trunk, body, and now that body and that sketch. Project, okay, and turn this sketch off. Take that projection, turn that body off, turn the rear cover off for the time being, and we can go back to resetting everything. And that, oops, turn that and that. Okay, there we go. Cool, so now everything is back to how I had it before, and we just need to draw this in. So. Actually, I still need the front hood, that's right. Because we may bump into it. You can go back off now. 3, yeah, we do bump into it. So actually, we can go 2.5 to make sure we don't. And just do the same kind of deal as before. Keep it simple. We got a methodology. We'll follow the methodology and hopefully not screw anything up. It's a 5mm shaft, so... Whoops, not there though. There's that. What else am I selecting here? No, it is just a sketch. It's just I got a random... Huh. I wonder what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I am unsure. 1mm on 5mm shaft, as stated before. These are right angles. These are right angles. And now we extrude. Nope, we don't extrude that. See, it's funny because it's selecting sketch, right? So there's that. I don't know what profile it's accidentally grabbed. That is way beyond me. Let's see. I guess I will use something in here as a reference. Actually, it would be the head probably for the reference. Head, there it is. Just to make sure we're clear of that. Sorry, that was incorrect. And then give ourselves a little bit of offset from the head. And then, again, we can make this kind of beefy, so make it a 5. And that's going to be a join, please. Oh, I accidentally put in the wrong object, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like I put it in a wrong object, so that's unfortunate, but we'll live with our consequences. Actually, well, this flap is going to open up anyway, so it will never interfere with the head. But we can just be ultra safe and do that. And now we mirror, actually offset first, and then mirror. -0.1, mirror, features, select. And all this is still in the car carriage cover. Sorry, but can I delete that? I can't delete that. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to rage quit this one because something got super foobarred with it. Centered. Turn the car back on. Grab the things we need. Head flap out of the way. We want that circle. Finish. Oh my goodness, not finish. I'm silly. Did I at least grab that? I did not grab it. Circle, okay. Body, sketch. Back to you, Bob. Body, project. Okay. See, this is much better. We already know that's going to clear. Much cleaner environment. Much less aggressive. Tangent. Here we go. And yeah, that's all we need. Oh no, that's not all we need. I thought I was missing something. I was like, wait. There. Double line. Good job, Fusion. 1 and now. No. Much easier. There's my join. We want the head from object. I did a 5 before, right? Yeah, that looks correct. Join. Offset. Minus 0.1. Mirror. Features. Center point. Okay. Leave it on adjust. Adjust fails. Again. But I didn't start on optimize. If I started on optimize, optimize would fail and adjust would work. Because, of course. Alright, now we need that hinge. So. Hinge, as previously discussed, is going to have to go above so the outer hinge, the outside hinge, the sheath, whatever you want to call it, is we're going to want to be parallel to the ground so that when we print it, we don't have a problem. The peg that it goes into is going to have to be printed off the ground with supports, unfortunately. Any other things we need to consider? I don't think so. And we decide we're going to go in the center to avoid everything. So one long shaft in the center to avoid any issues with the arms. So let's see. We are actually going to design it here because it's going to end up connecting to both anyway. So this is the most logical place to put it. We'll grab those. Do that. The hinge is going to be center. Let's see. I guess just put this in for now. I kind of want it to be a beefy hinge like the other ones, so we'll do that. This is the outside sheath. Actually, the arm hinge is probably alright. So how thick did we make the arm hinge? Finish. Thank you. Arms. So it should be this. Okay, it's not this, but that does get me here. Okay, so the arm hinge is actually only 2 millimeters. Unless that was diameter. And let's see. Radius of 2 millimeters. Yes, so it's 4 millimeter diameter. And we only had a 1.5 millimeter collar on it. Sheath. Coping. Whatever the heck it is. Let's go 2 millimeters for this one just because. And it needs to replace all... Well, it really should be below... See, this needs to go at least here in order to avoid printing problems. But that means that we're going to have to dig out a good amount of space to make sure it can actually open up. So, I guess that's just the world we live in at this point. We could do this to get ourselves a little bit lower. But in order for this to print flat, we're going to have to do this. Next question is, does it matter which side we put the... So I feel like because, well, actually it's not even a feel like if I'm going to use that excuse. Realistically speaking, so this is the front of the car over here, it looks like. Let me make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Yes. So this is the smaller piece to print if we need to reprint it. So for that reason, this side should be the shaft. This side should have the shaft because that is, I think, the more likely piece to snap if anything's going to snap. And therefore, if it's going to snap, we want to reprint the smaller piece. So that's my logic. So this is going to need to be able to connect to the shaft. So that's the shaft on the inside. And again, we're going to have to actually, this side not so much. This side doesn't necessarily matter. This I think can be basically anything. I don't think it matters, so I'm going to just connect it here as a idea. This guy is going to want to be let's see. So we were doing 1 before for 5. I guess we do 0.75 for 4. Yeah, that doesn't even look like enough. 1? No, too much. Okay, so that's 0.5 then. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's that cut out for this to slide into there. We don't necessarily need to slide it in this way. We could actually put this at the top still, because you can assemble it separately. Yeah, you can assemble it separately, so actually, yes, no, yes. 0.5. So that's that. This can just go like this. I don't see any reason why it can't. So let us get this extruded into the rear cover first. And symmetric, distance, symmetric. Let's look at where that arm is at. And then I'm pretty sure the arm was the only thing that would get in our way. And it looks like we got plenty of space. So I'm going to go like overall. Let's go overall. Maybe 75? I don't know if I want to do 100. Oh no, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Okay, 30? Alright. 30. Yes, 30 is what I meant to say in the first place. I just misspoke, that's all. I clearly was not thinking 75. Then that. Two-sided. Distance to object. Distance to object. Actually, I got those backwards. To object. And this is a join. Any issues so far? I don't think so. Maybe. Yes. Yes. Problems. Let's offset this by 5 and 5. Because the other part needs to actually get in there. So, over to the front flap. Extrude. So you need to clear all this out. And the center part for right now. And we'll just click that just to make sure we have everything. And two-sided, because you need to clear out everything as well. Rear flap, where's the body? Oh, it is there, I just can't see it. Just blind. I'm gonna over clear. We're gonna end up putting most of this back, obviously. I'm just gonna over clear to make sure. Oh, and I need to clear out the floor, that's right. Okay, let's fix that first. Because we need to be able to open up this flap. Can I just clear out this one side? I think I can I? Let's do this. 45? Nah, I wanted to go the other way, 60. I might not need that much, but... Oh no, what'd you do? You weren't supposed to cut everything. Alright, let us drag select that. Oh, do I not have the floor? Is the floor not lava? There we go. Oh no, don't do that. Arms, you can go away again. Okay, back to front flap cover. That deleted. This, all of that. Two-sided. This side first, that side first. Again, blue, in my opinion, should be the active one. Okay, you know what? Blue was the active one this time. You may recall that the other day, blue was not the active one, in my defense. If you were watching the stream, which is why you should watch the stream, because then you get to watch us complain, or watch me complain about things, especially not being in the correct context. Which I should have noticed because I can see everything. Two-sided, to object. This side first. Yep, that side first. To object, there, and make sure we are only cutting the front cover. Okay, and now we can put that stuff back. So we need this to go the full length. Actually, before we do that, before we do this one, I want to get the ends back up. So, and actually, we're going to have to cut this bottom part. So let's cut this bottom part really quick because that bottom part has to actually be cut the full distance, both directions. Symmetric all, in order for this to work. That getting everything? I think it is. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we only need that. And maybe that needs to not be so big. I am adding... Am I adding? Alright, we'll see what happens. We are on the front flap right now, so we do need to make sure that we are only cutting the front flap. Okay, we are. Yeah, I mean, I got two bodies now. Oh, no, it says it's still connected. Okay. Well. Let me turn the rear cover off. And then I want all of this, not that. But that. We'll see what happens. I gotta take a look at it. From object, that. And -3. Did I leave myself -3 or did I leave myself -5? I think I left myself -5. That was a new body, wasn't it? That was supposed to be a join. So I just wanted some meat to connect to for the rod as opposed to the rod connecting to basically nothing. So that's why I'm doing this. Mirror. Features. Select that. Adjust. Fails. Yep. Just fails. Optimized. Nope. Identical. There we go. Alright. Let me take a look at the rear cover. Let me double check this just because it's a little difficult to see. Actually, yeah. This is incorrect, isn't it? Yes. This should have been cut out. Shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. I need that relief down there. So... you know what? Let's do symmetric all. Objects to cut, just the front cover. Yes. There. And then I will fix this so that it connects more. But first, the point being, I want to check that this, I did not screw something up here. Okay, no, I did. I did screw something up here. And I think that's because I misremembered that 5 wrong. What is my offset? No, I got offsets of 5 on each side. So I should have 5 millimeters. Oh, okay. But I didn't include this ring. That's what happened here. So that would be this guy. Include that ring. And we're still only cutting rear. Yes. So there's that. So let's right quick double check that now. Yes, good. Good, 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 good. Boop, boop, boom, boom. Do, 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 do. This hinge isn't going to work if I bring this in, right? Let's come back here and fix these problems right here really quick. Okay, that can go away because I already overdid that one. This, I don't know why that, I guess I understand why that disappeared. Okay, join. Triple check. Compote. Alright, so the point of these guys was to get more of a connection here. If I cut the other side back, does that work? I was only doing one side, but... honestly, my brain just might be a little fried here. Might be the problem. See, what I'm thinking is I got this space right here, right? And that stuff isn't interfered, which means that... well, before I say anything, let me go ahead and, since this is spreading full air, or clear air, free floating, Then I don't need to worry about making it a D shaft. Join. Okay. And I keep on doing this because, again, my brain ain't working too good at the moment. So let me turn the sketch off so that I get the actual shaft itself instead. Okay. That honestly is all I need to open up, right? If I made this, if I filled this in and then cut out this direction, would that help? It should, right? Well, no, because my pivot point's up here, so it doesn't actually... Let's look at the sketch really quick. My pivot point's up here, so if I... So this point, if I filled this in, filled all this in, actually this point too, and then swept that out just on the outside. Okay, let's try that. So let's fill in. Again, not the most efficient construction here, but not construction, timeline. But I got my excuses. So from object, that guy, to object, that guy. And actually, we probably can get away with the center two. Join. And then just cut this out over here. Just grab everything. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. It does, but if I cut it straight down, yeah, if I cut it, I mean, not even straight down, if I cut it at least, 45, that opens the bottom up enough. So, hop back in here, or not in there. Where am I at right now? I want to be in here. Turn you guys off. Then draw a 45. 45. That needs to go here and be tangent. There we go. And we'll turn that on. Finish. And now this cut right here will also include that. Cut. And now theory of 45 should work, right? Let me do this and see what we got for interferences rather. Okay, that does work. And that looks a lot better. So we just need to mirror all that across, and then we should be good. And I'm just going to do this up here, I think. Actually, no. I'll go inside. Actually, yeah, whatever. Okay. And now we see that the arm is in the way. Yep. Not only the arm, well, basically everything, yes. Let's see. We're only clipped in front here, so I can just cut this all out, which is what I might do. This part of the arm actually can be lifted up, right? No, not really. It cannot really be doing that because yeah, that arm's actually sitting right on that tab too. So that tab needs to be moved back, unfortunately. We can't move this arm up. We can just clear this straight out. So this guy, we can change how this is oriented. We can go from here to here, offset by like 1. Hit join, and then it mirrors just fine. We do have a gap in here, but actually we can just take the floor at this point. Turn the arm off, turn that off. We're almost done. We're almost done. With the exception of details. But we're gonna need that to be solid at this point. Finish. Alright, now turn this back on. Off. And off, and grab that. Not that. Let's skip that for now. Yeah, I think we have to skip that. Okay. From object to object here. Okay. Put the arms back on. Make sure we're not missing anything obvious. That did not join, did it? Did not join. This is going to rotate down. That's going to rotate up, right? Which will hit the arm. But we're going to be able to lift the arm up anyway because the legs will be out of the way. So that should be fine. Where's my axle for Rotation, where you at? There you are. We're still clearing that, right? Minus 45. Capture. Again, prefer not to be doing this, but I don't trust myself at this point, so. Alright, cool. Control Z, Control Z. And now, for this hoop right here, we can actually just clear that out, I think. And we'll probably just box it out. So, let's hop in here. Project this and that. I'm still in the front cover, right? Yeah, I am. Cool. Turn back off. Bodies, bodies, arms. And then just, you know, put a box right here. Make sure it... Honestly, I'll probably just go here. Give ourselves a little bit extra space. You know, call this 3 or something like that. And call it a day. Rather than trying to get it tight to the arm. Turn the body back on. Turn the arm back on. From object there. To object here. And make sure we're only cutting the front flap. There we go. So now that can sit through just fine. And we don't have any other interferences, right? Alright, cool. This probably can come here as well. And we'll just add that to the list. Alright, cool. Cool, 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 cool. So let's move the guy in the back back. I'm going to make this kind of tight just because it is annoying that we have this problem right now. And I don't want it that far back is the other reason. I prefer it on this side of the middle line. Because it's holding the thing up. So if it's at the middle line right, then we have some potential to droop on this side. Alright, now we need to add some offsets for clearances purposes. Yeah, that's the front. Where is... Huh. What happened to my clip? From there all. Is that what happened to my clip? Nope. What happened to my clip? Join? There's my clip. There's my clip. Who killed my clip? Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. What you doing? Feature? Cut? Optimize? Okay. Okay, that was sketchy. Alright. Just make sure everything is clear. Actually, let's not do this one. The rest of these can be 0.2, but that one should only be 0.1. This is a little weird right here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it alone and not ask questions. The fact of the matter is that we need a whole nother stream now on Friday night just doing the exterior design. You know, making it look nicer. So, one of those things. Even though we are done all the physical mechanical parts of it, we still have some work to do. I already cleared those out, so I think we're good, and we should have plenty of space. Actually, you know what? Did I go extra here? I did not go extra here. I should have gone an extra millimeter. Okay. So long as these 3mm ones hold up, then we are officially done. All the mechanical pieces. Now it is just stylizing the car. And that should be it. Obviously, I do have some stuff to mirror. For example, the axles, the arm still need to be mirrored. And then that little snap in for the back wheels. I will get those done on my own time because those are minor changes. But tomorrow we will be back for the final part of this, which is... where is my... Sorry. I just realized this was missing. Alright, there we go. We'll be back for the final part of it, which is trying to add some stylization to the car. So, for example, we need those rim cover or wheel tire covers that we had talked about. Again, on the buggy, they have these little jut out things that cover the tires. Beetle, whatever we call it. The windows, and again, the windows at this point, because we have so much junk on the inside, are probably going to just be faux windows. Like, they're going to be recesses. And then we can also do headlights and stuff like that. So headlights, door outlines, etc. But for the moment, we are good, I'm pretty sure. The only question is, actually, the only question I have, let me pull those pictures of the Beetles back up. The size of the tires is the only thing I'm looking at now. And relative speaking, so we're looking at this, right? And now I flash back to us. Yeah, so the tires probably need to be a bit taller. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm a little concerned about breaking stuff by making them bigger, but the alternative is actually to make them bigger now at the end of the timeline, so we know we're not going to break anything. They shouldn't break anything, but I'm still a little bit paranoid. So I'll try it, and again, that is a minor adjustment that I'll do off stream. So I'll try that off stream. And then, well, I'll figure it out off stream one way or another, whether or not I need to do it at the end or not, so that that's out of the way for when we do the stylization of the rest of the Beetle. So again, a little outline for the hood, these wheel covers that I was talking about, window outlines, again, not actual windows, and maybe some bumpers. The bumper in the back, obviously, we didn't make it this shape. We made the whole entire back open up so that the legs could come out. So we don't have much room for a bumper. We could put the bumper on there and then just have it split, you know? Just cut it and attach it to both the rear trunk and the body. That's a possibility. Mirrors would also be nice. Add in some mirrors. So again, all that is going to happen tomorrow night, which is last minute because the Prince Flash contest ends on Saturday. Saturday morning, I believe, for me. Something like Saturday 8 a.m., I think. So we'll be doing that Friday night, and then I need it printed before Saturday morning 8 a.m. in order to have a picture to put up on the post to put in the Flash contest. Obviously, a video is going to not be accompanying that. That's alright. I'll probably do a video and add it on later. But for the initial Flash contest, that is probably not going to happen. So, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching the stream. This was a much better stream in my opinion. I think this went very well. Everything flowed this time. We didn't get too caught up on problems, and we solved any problems we had very quickly. So I am extremely happy with this stream. So, especially after last night's stream. Last night's stream with the stupid hinge in the back was an absolute disaster. So, I am very happy to have a bounce back stream. And, hopefully, we actually place in this contest. Because, one of those things, we are now up to... Let's check. We're at 3 hours now. And, let me pull up my content. Refresh this page. And let's see, that one is 4 hours, that one is 2 hours, so it's 6 hours plus 3 hours is 9 hours. And then 2 to 3 hours tomorrow to do detailing on the car. Hopefully it's only 2 hours, hopefully it's just a quick 2-hour detail on the car. And then that will put us at 11 hours. So 11 hours for a Flash Prusa contest. Plus printing time, obviously. Printing time, one of those things. So it's extra time for me, preparing the pieces, trimming them up and whatnot, and making sure that they all fit. But I'm not going to count that as time. For design purposes. Well, I guess I should also say that obviously I did spend some time coming back through and fixing stuff, minor stuff, for example, this cap. So yeah, I'm definitely going to probably be over 12 hours for myself, but 11 hours worth of stream for you guys. Hopefully we can win something. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, I think this is better than most of the stuff I saw on the contest page. So unless a bunch of people entered in the past few days, because I haven't looked at it, because the only thing I've done is this during my free time, basically. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully this is the single best entry in the contest. And yep, that's everything from me. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I will catch you next time.